Welcome creators to your vision module, to module 3. So this week we are really starting to step in towards, okay, what is our creative vision? We want to start crafting our creative vision, but doing it in a way that really allows it to emerge and unfold organically for us. So before we kind of start racing ahead and putting together project plans or putting structure and action plans together, we really want to make sure that whatever it is that you are choosing to focus on and create in this time, that it's something that's really aligned with your highest values, that it's something that's really going to light you up and bring you a lot of joy, but also give you a why, right? So also kind of really allow you to feel like you are deeply connected to a sense of purpose, that what you're creating is part of your broader legacy or mission for your life, right? And then it really captures like all aspects of your being and allows enough spaciousness for the full spectrum expression of you to emerge. And yeah, that this really is the best and the highest possible expression of you in the world. So what we're going to be doing in this module is really connecting into, okay, so what is my purpose, and what's my reason for being? What is it that's really deeply here on my heart to create? And we're going to look at a little bit about pleasure and what lights us up. We're going to talk a little bit about legacy, about the impact that we want to make in the world, and how we can start to draw all of these pieces together and integrate them in a way that really allows us to anchor into that vision every single day. Because some of you might have already have a pretty clear picture of what it is that you're wanting to create, and you've got a goal in mind. It's something that's on your heart and you're like, let's get it. Some of you, it might be a little bit more vague at this stage. You might have a general sense of what it is that you're here to do, but you might still be feeling into some, the edges of that and the details and allowing it to kind of unfold. And so wherever you're at in this process, let's really just start from the core. Let's really start from what is most important to us and allow ourselves to even expand into possibilities that maybe you've never even considered before, right? So we're also going to have a look at this concept called Ikigai, which is a Japanese concept. It loosely translates to mean reason for being. And essentially what it is, it's about being able to unify and integrate these 4 aspects of our being that lead us to our purpose. So the first one is love. Like, what do you love? What are you passionate about, right? The second one is, what are you good at? And this doesn't just mean like, what are you naturally talented at? We all have our own natural gifts and abilities, but also, what is it that you enjoy improving and, refining your craft? What is it that you're going to get a lot of, joy out of the challenge of getting better and developing that talent? And also, what does the world need is the third one. So how can we contribute positively to our communities, to humanity, to, what is it that people on the planet really need, and what is it that we're able to provide that has value, that can, that can essentially, it's about making a difference, right? And the fourth part of that is, what can you get paid for? So this is really important in terms of, first of all, our financial stability and security and our ability to be able to make abundant living, which, is your birthright. to get paid well for what you do and what you contribute. But this also influences our own sense of personal value as well, feeling like the work that we do makes a difference, that it's valued, that it's important, and that it can be sustainable for us as well. So these are the 4 aspects that we're going to dive into a little bit today. And let's start with let's start with love, right? Let's lead with love. Let's start from the heart. So, we all have these things that light us up in the world, that bring us joy and pleasure, and the things that make us feel expansive. And there's two different driving forces in life, okay? And Freud referred to them as eros and thanatos, but you could also think of them as like just expansion and contraction, right? So you'll know these energies well. So when you are living life in alignment with your highest values, when you're working towards something that you believe in, when you doing things that just feel good, that light you up, it has something that has a deep significance or a meaning to you, when you're in tune with those natural passions and pleasure, right? There's a natural sense of ease and excitement and expansiveness, right? There's you can feel this energy of just aliveness. It lights up in every cell. And no one needs to make you do these things. No one needs to force you to do these things, right? Because it feels good, and it feels like the most natural, aligned thing for you to be doing. And on the flip side of that, when we are living in a way that is against our values, when we're doing things that we don't believe in, when we are in environments that really don't make us feel supported or valued, or like when we are pushing against what feels natural to us, it's almost like we're going against the grain of life. This is the contraction energy, right? And you'll know this feeling, like if you've ever worked in a job, or you've been involved in a project that just really didn't feel good to you. It's like it almost feels like everything feels harder, and everything feels like it's going to take more time and more effort, and like you're literally like looking at the hands on the clock ticking down the time, just waiting for the day to end, right? So there's this kind of almost like we're going against the grain of life a little bit, and it can be exhausting, right? So your natural energy is expansion. As a creator, as creation, it is your natural instinct and desire to want to expand and to move in the direction of stuff that's going to make you to light you up. And you'll know when you are living on track, and when you're on the right path, because it will have a sense of effortlessness about it. Right? Now, that doesn't mean that everything's going to be easy and you're never going to have challenges and it's just going to be like free-flowing flow state the whole time, right? You are still going to come up against challenges. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that you're going to face. But when you are deeply connected to your purpose, right? When there's a reason behind why you're doing it, and the joy, right, is going to be bigger than the struggle, right? So when you understand why you're doing it, it makes it easier for us to overcome any how, right? To overcome the challenges. We find solutions to any problem when the reason is big enough for us, right? So so the first part of this module that I'm inviting you to explore in your workbook is some journal questions around, okay, what is it that you love, right? So what are the things that feel expansive in your being? Like the things that just light you up and make you feel energized and aligned, and just alive in general, okay? What is the aliveness energy? And so, my first invitation is to list 20 things that you love. And these can be small things, tiny little things that just bring you a sense of joy. It might be literally just, cooking a meal with your favorite spices and flavors, or watching the sunset. Or maybe what lights you up is when you're like totally in your art practice and you're creating and you're in that zone and you're just feeling pure inspiration. Maybe for you, what you love is being connected with nature, or feeling a part of a community, or anything, right? There's no right or wrong. It can be really small, it could be a massive thing. What is it that you love? And yeah, the other things for us to tune into here to kind of give us these guiding posts and clues is, what did you do when you were a kid? Like what was fun, and how did you play when you were a child, right? Because children generally don't get caught up with all of these existential problems or issues about what's my purpose and what's the meaning of life and what's the point of all this, right? Children are just pure channels, and they literally just play. And the nature of the universe is playful, right? And so it's this joyful energy which is magnetic, and also giving us that key guidepost as to like what is going to light you up. And yeah, also have a think about like what are you naturally talented at, and what comes easy for you. So there are certain things that you do in your life, in your day-to-day life, that you're probably not even aware of, stuff that just is so easeful for you. You don't have to think about it, you don't have to try. I mean, you might have a sense of like, okay, wanting to develop that skill, but there's also an organicness about it that there's no resistance, right? So these can be big things. These can be like a talent, like a craft or a skill. It might be music or songwriting or putting choreography together, or maybe you just have like incredible oral skills and you can just pick up things. Or maybe it's just, something as simple as like being a really good listener, being someone who's really present and really, genuinely caring and compassionate, and in the way that you deal with people. It might be, right? It might be really small things that you do, even just like your own daily little rituals and practices, right? There's certain things that you do that, that are unique to you, right? And yeah, so let's start to dig into these. Let's start to explore, right? And we all have our own unique purpose, right? Our own blueprint, our own soul contract with the universe. There is a reason that you have incarnated in the planet, on this planet, in this exact time in humanity, in this exact time in history. There is something that you and only you are here to do and to contribute and create in the world. And these are, by starting to connect with those natural things that light you up, we are, starting to kind of pull these pieces together and work out what it is, okay? And so, yeah, all right. So the next part of this is the impact that we want to make, all right? So this is the stuff that the world needs, but it's also more than that. It's connected to legacy, all right? So legacy it's a lot broader than just a particular project or a particular goal, right? Like it's more than attaining a certain level of success or making a certain amount of money, or getting a certain level of recognition in your industry. It's really, legacy is really about the impact that we hope that our lives will leave on the planet. It's the part of us that transcends the boundaries of time, and it's about memory, and it's the essence of who we are and who we want to be, and what it is that we really want to leave in the world, right? And so it speaks to this desire to want to make a difference, to influence humanity, to influence culture, to make a positive change in the community, right? It's this deeper need that we have as human beings to want to improve the quality of life for others, or to empower and uplift each other. So some questions to help you really dig into this is like, okay, so if you knew that you only had 1 year left to live, what is it that you would really choose to do now? What is it that feels so important to you that it's like bucket list kind of stuff, right? It's like, what is the stuff that you really want to be, not, I don't want to say check off your list, like it's just another thing to do, but you know, the stuff that you feel like your soul came here to do, the stuff that you feel like, right, this is the imprint that I am here to leave on the planet after I'm gone, right? It's the stuff that can live on after you. And as I said, yeah, it's beyond just the role that you have. It's beyond just like, okay, I am a singer, right? And I'm going to do an album. It's beyond that. It's like, what's the essence of that you're leaving behind? What is the story, the message, the energy that you're here to share with the planet? And as in general, I was gonna say as creatives, but as humans in general, we can often overly identify with our role and think that that's our purpose. So, you know, like I'm inviting you in this moment to expand your sense of self beyond just the role or the title that you have, right? So as artists and creatives, as entrepreneurs, the things that we create are often so intertwined and connected with our sense of identity and who we are. And, you know, it's not like we go to a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday job where we put on a role and, you know, we have our kind of tasks that we're doing. Often, you know, the things that we're creating is stuff that we're living for. It's stuff that has deep significance and meaning to us. But, you know, we have to also make sure that we're not overly identifying or defining ourselves purely by our skills or our tools, right? Because that's not what legacy is about, and that's not what purpose is about. Rather than defining ourselves by the impact that we make. So when we are connected to a sense of mission or purpose, we start to realize that there are so many possibilities available to us. There's so many different tools and, you know, different crafts and things that we can use to fulfill that mission. So for example, you know, a mission, my personal mission is I help liberate creative consciousness. I help people develop their creative potential, right? And so there's a different energy in that, right? Rather than saying, okay, I'm a singer and I'm a coach. It's like, who are the people that you're here to help? And how is it that you're here to serve them? So, you know, it might be like, okay, well, I'm here to inspire transformation. I'm here to create safe spaces where people can express themselves. I'm here to help develop creativity, to help people express themselves. I'm here to be able to help my community develop a stronger sense of empowerment within their identity. Is this making sense, right? It's like, essentially what it is, it's the why. Why are you doing it? What's the deeper intention of your work? This is what we want to tune into, right? Because when we become clear on our soul mission, on the purpose, on the underlying intention as to like, okay, why are we doing this work? It becomes easy for us to then start to, okay, well, you know, identify what are the tools that we have. And we can also see that, all right, those tools are not who you are. They are tools, gifts, talents, abilities that you have been blessed with, that you've been given, or that you've, you know, cultivated and developed over your life that can support you to serve your higher purpose, right? So it's not about serving the passion, it's about serving the higher purpose, and, you know, using your gifts, using the stuff that makes you feel joyful, so that you can serve that purpose. And in that sense, it becomes a double blessing for us, right? Because we get to experience the joy, whilst we're also fulfilling the higher mission, right? And it also means that we're no longer confined to the ego, to our identity of who we think we're supposed to be, or the thing, you know, the expectations. And this is it just opens up so many different possibilities and ways for us to be able to fulfill that mission. And yeah, this is something that I also want to touch on, is expectations. So I don't know what it was like for you guys when you were leaving school and when you were kind of growing up and starting to kind of make these decisions in life around, okay, what pathways you're going to take. But I remember when I was back in high school, there was so much pressure on young people leaving school to decide, what are you going to do with the rest of your life, right? There was so much, so much pressure, and these big decisions that are placed on you at an early age, before you've even really had a chance to go out in the world and explore and, you know, try new things and meet new people and discover new cultures and new lands and you know, make mistakes and find out what is right for you and what's not, right? So I was so lucky that I really had parents that gave me a lot of freedom and really encouraged me to just, you know, do whatever I wanted with my life and follow my heart. But I'm mentioning this because it's a really common experience that a lot of us often, you know, had to make these massive decisions and experience a lot of pressure, that there may be a lot of social expectations that have weighed heavy on you up until now about the things that, you know, your society thinks you should do, that maybe your parents think you should do, or, you know, what was kind of acceptable or cool within your friendship group or within your culture, your community. And so yeah, what can happen is that as we grow and develop as human beings, that often we can find ourselves really off track, and we can find ourselves in positions where we're not really lit up, and we've maybe disconnected from the things that we loved. Maybe, you know, we were pressured to take a more sensible route. Maybe we were pressured to really make certain decisions that were more kind of considered to be logical or more practical, right? And maybe we denied that part of us that really wanted to express those passions. Or, you know, maybe, okay, we did follow the path and we did pursue our interests, but we didn't really connect to, you know, a deeper reason as to why, and we didn't really find what was meaningful for us in that. And so, yeah, and so if we find ourselves at any stage feeling uninspired or feeling unmotivated by the things that we're doing, often it's an indication that we're lacking that deeper sense of purpose, and the why is missing, right? So this is what we want to try to tune into today. So all right, so back to the journal questions. All right, so these are in your module book. So if you knew that you would be loved, accepted, and it would be impossible to fail, what would you do? All right, this is an important one for us to really dive into, because often it can be a fear of failure that stops us from even trying, right? And you know, when we talk about expectations of our family, you know, wanting to make sure that we're pleasing our family, not wanting to cause conflict, right? Often, whilst that might be, you know, well-intentioned, you know, our families may have I'm using family as an example, but maybe it was a role model, someone in your family or community, or a teacher, or, you know, a mentor who maybe guided you in a certain direction. And perhaps that was well-intentioned, but it may have come with a whole lot of expectations or social conditionings, right? And so, yeah, this is like inviting us to tune into, like, okay, what parts of us, is there a part of us that maybe is choosing a certain route in life, or we're choosing to pursue something that maybe isn't actually in alignment for us, or doesn't actually feel right for us at this stage in our life, but we feel like it's like what we should be doing. So yeah, so if you knew you were going to be loved, if you knew you would be accepted, if you knew that you could make any choice and decision, what would what would it be, right? And I wrote there, what would you do even if you knew you were going to fail? Okay. And this is probably confusing for a lot of you, because there's often a lot of talk in the coaching industry around, like, what would you do if you knew you could never fail, right? If your success was guaranteed, what would you do? And that's an awesome question. And I also want to invite you to tune into, what would you do if you knew you were going to fail? Because the chances are that you are going to fail probably multiple times before you succeed, right? And this is the pathway to success. The pathway to success requires us to fail. It requires us to get it wrong sometimes and mess up and make mistakes, because this is how we grow and this is how we evolve. And there is no successful person on the planet who has not failed at some stage in their career. So we talk about this a lot more in the next few modules ahead. We talk a lot more about, like, dealing with failure and reframing that. But yeah, for now, it's like, what do you love so much that you are willing to fail at it multiple times and still show up and still keep going, right? Because if you are willing to put yourself out there with the knowledge that, okay, not everything is going to be perfect straight away, right? Life is an art form. Life is always evolving, as art is always evolving. And yeah, we have to really connect with the reason why we're doing something and love it so freaking much that we're willing to take that risk, right? So what would you do even if you knew you were going to fail? And yeah, let's start to tune into, so, like, what's some dreams that you would really love to achieve in this lifetime? And looking back, all right, like, if you could, let's transport yourself into the future for a moment, imagining that you're on your deathbed. What is it that you hope to be remembered for most in this lifetime? Yeah, so what is the stuff that you are going to feel the most proud leaving behind to your grandchildren, and, or, you know, whether or not you choose to birth children in this lifetime or not, but what is it that you're going to feel so proud about passing down to the next generation, right? Passing down to the community, passing down to the people around you in your life. What is that legacy going to look like for you? And yeah, so these are all questions kind of leading us closer to, like, all right, what is it that we can really contribute? And yeah, starting to look at, all right, the difference that we want to make. What is, the difference that we really want to impact on the planet, and, the changes that you'd really like to see in humanity. And this, might be a broad scale of humanity. Maybe for you, this just looks like your own country or your own community, or, your own social circle, your own family. What is it that, the biggest difference that you would really like to see? And often something that can help us kind of connect with this is taking stock of our own challenges and our own obstacles, right? Because it's highly likely that the people that you are here to serve, or the difference that you're here to make on the planet, is stuff that you have had to personally transform within yourself at some stage, right? And the people that you're here to serve are generally the people that who maybe just might be just further back on the track than you, right? So being able to claim our own personal challenges and really own our own story around, okay, the stuff that you've been through, the stuff that you've struggled with, the hardships that you've faced in your own personal life. These are some of the key indications of, all right, the knowledge that you've acquired, the experience that you've gained, and also how you're going to best be able to serve others, right? And within that, it's like, okay, we want to clarify what is the message. So what is it that you're really wanting to serve others, or not serve? What is the key message, the core message that you really would love to be able to communicate to people? And so, you know, it might even be valuable for you to think in terms of like yourself. What message would you give to your younger self a few years ago? You know, if you could speak to yourself as a younger person, what would be the most important message that you would want to communicate and express? And you know, we want to kind of tune into who is going to benefit from this the most, right? So this is leading us towards being able to identify who it is that you want to be able to serve, who it is that you're here to help, how you want to make a difference. And the final question in your journals there is what are the tools that you have to share? You know, how can you serve this mission? So what are your tools? What are your skills, your capabilities, your knowledge, your education, your talents, your experience? Start to just kind of make a little mental note. And as I said, there can be so many different aspects to this, right? There's certain things, skills that you've maybe developed that you're not even sure of how it would even make a difference in what you're doing, right? But there is a reason for everything. Trust me, there is a reason for everything. Even if it's like, okay, you know, you worked at a job, or you were employed part-time several years ago, maybe you were doing some tasks that might seemingly feel unrelated to what you're wanting to do now. But I promise you, we're going to start to bring all these pieces of the puzzle together and it's all going to make sense, right? So note down any skills, talents, gifts, abilities, stuff that you've acquired on the way. These are your tools, right? And so once you're feeling really clear, once you've really gone through all the journal questions and you've brought all this stuff up to the surface and you've had a good look at all these different aspects of you, what we want to start to do is we want to start to bring all of these pieces of the puzzle together. We want to integrate all these different expressions and parts of you, and we want to start to find this sweet spot of your ikigai, right? So again, this is the stuff that you love, the stuff you're good at, the stuff the world needs, the stuff that you can get paid for. And we want to start to capture this in a way that's going to allow you to anchor into this energy and tune into this frequency every single day, right? So as I said, we're not going to just race ahead and put a project plan and put smart goals and action plans together. We want to try to just capture the essence of it, right? So that you can stay connected and so that this can be something that you come back to over and over again. And anytime you get led off track or you get distracted or you start doubting your own ability or you start questioning things or you just want to throw in the towel and give up, you can come back to this every time and reconnect with it and help reignite your why, your intention, your reason, right? And so how we're going to do this is through two ways. The first way is we're going to create a mission statement, which I'll go through with you in a moment, and we're going to create a vision board. So these help us anchor into your vision in two different ways, like one being an affirmation, something you can read every single day, something like you can just connect with on a mental level. And one is that visual representation, which is going to help you just ignite the feeling of it and get that visual imagery in your mind, right? So that when you close your eyes, that this is at the forefront of your mind all the time. And even just like having it in your view, in your glance, is going to help you activate that in yourself. Okay, so the mission statement, you'll see that I've put a bunch of prompts in your workbook for you to help you kind of tune into this. But what we want to try to do is integrate all of these things. Okay, so the first part is I, Katimoni, or put your own name. So I, Katimoni, MA. So this one, I'm inviting you to claim your title, claim the labels that you are embracing for yourself, claiming the roles, right? So it might look like I am a transformational coach. I am a inspirational artist. I am a voice for change. I am a community leader. I am an inspirational educator. I am whatever it is, right? I'm inviting you to claim that in that sentence. And then say, I create, right? I create, and then you want to put in your work, I create work that inspires and uplifts people. I create work that is inspired by my culture. I create work that really captures the essence of healing and transformation on the planet. I create educational programs and content that changes people's lives. I create programs and, creative projects that really connect with people and contribute to the balance of the planet, whatever it is. So that's just when I want you to start to, craft what it is that you create. My mission is to, now this is your why that we talked about. So this is the intention. My mission is to liberate creative potential. My mission is to help cultivate conscious creators to be able to birth their visions into being, right? So what is this for you? My mission is to inspire people. My mission is to create content that reflects people's greatness and brilliance. And my mission is to embody the feminine frequency and power and bring that into being. What's your mission? So what's the why, right? Then we're going to do this through, I do this through, then you're going to talk about how you do this. So these are the specifics, like how do you deliver this? How are you going to actually tangibly, logistically do this? Is it through performances, right? What is going to be the vehicle? Is it going to be a performance-based project? Is it going to be a coaching thing? Is it going to be one-on-one? Are you supporting people through one-on-one classes? Are you doing group programs, right? Are you putting together workshops or community engagement programs with groups? Are you putting on events and exhibitions? Is your vehicle, how is your business going to do this? Are you developing a business that offers certain services? So what specifically, like how specifically are you doing this, right? I absolutely love, claim it, name it, all the things that you love, right? What is it that brings you joy, lights you up? Put it in there, right? Tell me, tell yourself, like, what is it that you love the most about the work that you are doing or that you desire to do, right? Write it as if it's already happening and feel those feelings of how much you love doing that work, right? And what aspects of this project or this program or this creation do you love the most? My work helps people. Now, this prompt, I'm getting you to explore the impact that you make. So really dive into, like, how does your work actually change the quality of people's lives? How is it going to empower them or light them up or improve them? Like, this is the value piece, right? So again, coming back to legacy, this is our desire to make a difference. So put this into your mission statement. So my work helps people transform their negative beliefs. My work helps people empower themselves to know that they can go out and make a difference. My work helps people by allowing them to express themselves or release emotions. It brings a lot of healing to people. My work allows people to really reflect on deeper parts of themselves, or it allows them to just like tap into a higher frequency. How does your work actually help people, right? Try to be as specific as possible. And then I'm inviting you to tune into, okay, my work receives. So this is like, what would you love to receive as a result of your work, right? So this is not you personally, it might be you personally, but it's more like, okay, so my work receives a lot of recognition in my field. My work receives a lot of funding from different government bodies and organizations. My work receives a lot of support from the people. My work receives, incredible feedback. Like people are sharing how much this is impacting their lives. They're sharing how much it just brings them hope and joy, right? So what is it that you would really desire for your work to be able to receive, right? I am now, so future pace yourself, right? Future pace yourself. This vision has already happened. It's already created. What are you doing now? What are you stepping into now? What is possible for you now, right? Now that you've put this project together in the future, in your mind, what would be possible for you now? I am now able to tour internationally. I am now able to work with people from all different cultures, across all different nationalities. I am now collaborating with people all around the world. I am now able to support charities and organizations that have deep meaning to me. I am now able to name it and claim it, right? What would be possible for you if this project was actualized? And I have become. So who have you become in this process? Who did you need to become in this process? What qualities have you developed within yourself? What have you cultivated or strengthened within you that allowed you to create this vision? Who did you become, right? So I have now become the woman of my dreams, or the man of my dreams. I have now become bold and confident. I have now become organized and disciplined. I have now become so self-loving. I have now become so fortified in my belief in myself. I have now become unshakable. I have now become so joyful and generous. What is it for you? Okay, we want to put this all down in your mission statement. And I am allowed to receive. Okay, so this is slightly different from the previous question about what is your work able to receive now. So I am now allowed to receive. So this is the piece around valuing yourself, okay? So I am now allowed to receive abundance and prosperity. I am now getting paid really well for my work. I am now allowed to receive the abundance of living the kind of lifestyle that I want to have. I am now receiving the type of partnerships and the love, the romantic relationship that I know that I deserve. I am now receiving, what is this for you? Okay. And I know that as artists, as creatives, as entrepreneurs who are heart-centered people, there can often be this notion in the spiritual realm where we're all for the love, and we just like we deny, money's not important, or we're not doing it for the money. And yeah, we're going to go into this a lot more in this journey. But this part is around valuing yourself, valuing your contribution, knowing that you are worthy, that you deserve to receive, that being financially abundant and prosperous is your birthright, and that, yeah, this is the nature of the universe. It's like reciprocal, right? Like what you give and what you receive has to be in equal balance, right? So check in with yourself. Even if this is triggering you already, like if you are one of those people that just give and give and give, and you're heart-centered, and you haven't actually thought about, okay, well, what am I allowed to receive, and what am I willing and available to receive for that service, right? This is actually a really key part of manifestation, and of that synergy of giving and receiving, right? And we have a whole module around inner wealth and valuing ourselves later on in the program. But for now, I want you to just tune into, okay, what am I available to receive? And the last question in your mission statement is, I reinvest my abundance into, okay? So this is like, again, tuning into that reciprocal energy of the nature of the universe. It's like, okay, well, what am I allowed to receive, and what am I going to continue that cycle? How am I going to continue that cycle? So once you have been able to receive and generate all that stuff that would come as a result of creating this vision, what happens then next? How do you reinvest that abundance? Are you going to, I now reinvest that abundance into developing my business, into spreading my creative work around the planet, into marketing and promoting my events and my artistry. I am now investing that money into building a property, creating a, you know, this is my dream. I want to create a creative wellness center, you know, something that gives back to the community, something that continues that cycle. And again, this is tying us back to legacy, right? How are we going to keep using what we've created to build more? So this is what I'm inviting you to put together as a mission statement. So you can also add anything in there. If there is anything else that feels really important to you that you want to add in there as well. And my invitation is to write it all down. Have it as something that you can read through every single morning. So every single morning you wake up and you pull out your mission statement, and you're taking that time to tune into your reason why before you even step out of bed, before you even have your first cup of coffee or tea or juice or whatever you have in your smoothie in the morning. We want to tune into why, and we want to lead with intention, right? So another really cool thing that you can do with this mission statement is also record it as an audio, as a voice memo too, right? You can just literally put it in your ears. We want to start to get this on repeat in your brain, right? So whatever your access point is. So we've also, one of the tasks for this week is a vision board task, right? So you can do this if you're a crafty, hands-on person. You can do this with scissors and glue. Grab old magazines and, you know, any kind of promotional material or newspapers or pictures, things that you've got lying around your house. You can also do this on Pinterest if you want to do a virtual version of this, right? And so we want to make this fun, right? This part of the process, we want to just like tune into our visionary capacities and our visual, like this visual stimulus that these images can trigger within you. So make this fun. Just start flicking through some magazines, and you might just notice, okay, certain words or certain images or even symbols that just capture this certain energy, right? And again, come back to this energy of expansion. So notice, like, there might be certain images or symbols that really pop out to you that feel good, that make you feel alive, that feel like there's a certain kind of resonance, right? And we want to really make sure that you're tuning into all areas of your life, right? So allow this to really capture the full spectrum expression of you. So we want to look for stuff that, okay, maybe aligns with our career goals or creativity, romance, intimacy, health, fitness, friends, community, family, spirituality, self-love, right? How do you want to feel about yourself? What do you want this inner relationship to be? So try to make sure that you're really capturing images that are going to represent that the fullness of your essence, right? As I said in the beginning, we want to make sure that this that what we're tuning into and this vision that we're crafting and shaping, that it really, allows space for all of you, for all parts of you, right? Because we're done with doing stuff that's not in alignment. We're done with the, doing jobs that we really don't believe in, stuff that doesn't light us up, stuff that's not making a difference on the planet, right? This is the new earth now. We are leading with intention. We are consciously creating and building stuff that the planet needs. We are here to be of service. We are here on purpose. And we are the leaders. We are the creators. We are the artists and the visionaries of the new earth. And it's time for us to really step into that and make sure that we're leading with love and we're leading in alignment in a way that is embodied, in a way that allows for all of us to come to the party, right? And so, yeah, and so this vision board, I'm inviting you to keep this in a place that you can regularly see it. Put it up on near your mirror, your dressing table, above your bed, somewhere that you're going to be able to see it, to tune into it on a regular basis. And also, yeah, what this is doing is that it's going to start to trigger your mind and your subconscious mind to start magnetizing those things and to start feeling the emotional response of what it would be like to already have those things, right? We've got this visual representation. So we really want to, start feeling the resonance of these things in our field and tuning into it every single day. So, my loves, have a wonderful week. I look forward to our call on Sunday, and I look forward to hearing more about what you've created. Feel free to post your mission statements in the group, post some images of your vision boards. I can't wait to see them. Big love.